Good morning, friends. Welcome to Ramsudhis IAS Academy. We are back with a new video on percentages. Percentages is one of the most important chapter not only for CSAT but also for various other competitive examinations which contains quantitative aptitude. Percentages, if we can expect questions from this chapter directly, and this chapter can also be helpful for solving problems related to profit and loss, compound interest and simple interest, as LCM and HCF was used for solving problems related to speed, time and distance, and time and work, pipes and systems, etc. Percentages will be used in solving problems related to simple interest, compound interest, and profit and loss. Moving on to the topic, percentages. What is percentage? Percentage refers to per 100. Cent refers to 100, and therefore percentage refers to per 100. This is, if it is given 2 percentage, then it means 2 by 100, 2 per 100. And therefore, that's the meaning of percentage. Moving on to the next concept. In improving your speed with respect to percentages, you need to remember certain things written over here. What is that I have written over here? Which means 1 by 4 is 25%, 2 by 5 is 1 by 5 is 20%. What is this all? Here, it's just like I have written 25%, which is 25 by 100. 25%, which is 25 by 100. I have written it as 1 by 4. You need not remember all this. You must just be aware of how I have written this 1 by 4 as 25%, 1 by 5 as 20%. Now taking 20%, 20% can be written as 20 by 100, which is 1 by 5. And so 20% is equivalent to 1 by 5. And similarly 1 by 12, 1 by 12, I mean 8 1 by 3 is written, percent is written as 1 by 12 because 8 1 by 3, which is 25 by 3%, which is, this is equals to 25 by 3 into 100. This is 1 by 12, and therefore I have written 8 1 by 3% as 1 by 12, and all other cases this is the same derivation which I have used. Now let me take other example, 3 by 5. 60% is written as 3 by 5, which means 60 by 100, 23 is 25, which is 3 by 5. Friends, make sure you remember all this. If not all this, at least just try to remember till 1 by 12, and then form terms like here 3 by 8 is 37 1 by 2, 1 by 7 is 14 2 by 7, 1 by 8 is 12 1 by 2. I mean both these are covered over here, 1 by 7 and 1 by 8. 3 by 7 is 42 6 by 7%, and 4 by 7 is 57 1 by 7%. And even if you are not able to remember this, just make sure you can derive them in the examination. 57 1 by 7 divided by 100, and then it should be 4 by 7. Moving on to the next part. In problems related to percentage, you may find like a number increased by 10%, a number decreased by 20%. Need not get confused over there, my friends. Just increased by 10%, it means that the number is increased by 10%, which is 1 by 10. In finding out that question, finding out such a problem, we just multiply the sum with 11 by 10, because here we consider x to be a unity, 1 unit, the whole thing to be 1 unit, and plus 1 by 10, this would be 11 by 10. And I have considered x to be 1 unit, and therefore it turned out to be 11 by 10. And if it is x, it would be x into 11 by 10. And the same case with 20 decreased by 20% too. I'll assume x to be 1 unit. I mean my number, whichever it is, first I assume it to be x, and then I assume it to be 1 unit. And this, when decreased by 20%, it would be 4 by 5, like 1 minus 1 by 5. This is 4 by 5. And 1 unit is 4 by 5. My x units would be x into 4 by 5. And this is the case. Just remember, whenever a number is increased by some 10%, 20% or something, it would be x into 11 by 10 or 6 by 5 when it is 20%. And decreased by 20%, it is x into 4 by 5. And make sure you practice these terms, like if it is 20% increase, what should be the multiplication factor? With 30%, what should be the multiplication factor? And decreased by 30%, what should be the multiplication factor? And decreased by 10%, what should be the multiplication factor? And so on. Moving on to the next one. Yep, we will start with our questions. First, a number 120 is 20% of a number and 120% of that number. Here, there is a number, some number x, let it be x, and 120 is the 20% of x. 20% of x is 120. He is asking us to find 120% of this x. Now, let the number be x. 20% of x is 120, and from there we get our x to be 600. and 120% of our 600, of our x, which is 600, it would be 720. Sorry, my friend, this is 720. This is our answer. Here, we can also find the solution by not going through all these steps, because x, he never asked us to find our x, he just asked us to find 120% of our x, and so this step can be eliminated. This problem can also be solved directly as 20% is equals to 120, and 120% would be some x. I mean, this both these x are not the same. This is, let me say some other y. Okay. Now 20% is 120. 120% would 20% of some number is 120, and 120% of the same number would be y. And on cross multiplying, my y would be 720, which is same in both the cases. Yeah. This is just not a trick, my friends. This is just eliminating certain steps in your problem. Like, this step was not necessary. If we asked us to find our x, okay, even then this method would not be useful. You need not seek help from this method, because you can directly find it over from here. 20% would be 120. Then he's asking us to find x. X would be 100%, which is 120 into 100 by 20. 21's 25. Our x would be 600. Which is in this case 600, and here also it is 600. This is just omitting certain steps which are not necessary. Moving on to the next question. 20% of a number when added to 20 becomes the same number. Here, you just understand the question. 20% of a number, let the number be x. 20% of x is added to 20, it gives the same number x. That is the question. He's asking us to find what is x. Now let me assume it to be x, and 20% of x plus 20 is equals to x, and solving this equation, I would get 4 by 5 x equals to 20, and my x would be 25. This can also be solved without taking anything as x. I'll take my number to be 100%. 20% plus 20. 20 is a number over here, and 20% is a 20% of that number. 20 is some other numeral. If both are added, we would get that number, which is 100%. And since both are in percentage terms, I would subtract. 80% equals to 20. What would be my 100%? 80% is 20, and what would be my 100%, which is the whole number? I mean, the number I have assumed, it would be 25. Both the cases are just the same cases. Here I have assumed it to be x, and here I have assumed it to be 100. Whichever is suitable for you and whichever is easy for you, you can use that method. Moving on to the next question. Numerator of a fraction is increased by 20% and denominator is decreased by 25%. Then the fraction so obtained is 3 by 5. The original fraction is. Here he is saying 20% increase with respect to numerator and 25% decrease with respect to denominator. Here it is 1 by 5 increase, and here it is 1 by 4 decrease. Because it is increase, I have made it 6 by 5 over here. Because increase, it should be say x into 6 by 5. We have already discussed in slide. Yeah, over here, if it is increased by 10%, I have multiplied it with 11 by 10, because it is 1 plus 1 by 10. And in the same sense, I have also multiplied here with 6 by 5, because 1 plus 1 by 5, which is 6 by 5. And here, in the denominator, the number is decreased 1 by 4. I mean 25%, which is 1 by 4. And therefore, y into 1 minus 1 by 4, which is y into 3 by 4. And therefore, y into 3 by 4 in this case. Now, on increasing numerator and decreasing denominator with the terms given in the question, my right hand side would be 3 by 5. He's asking us to find the original fraction. The original fraction here is x by y. On continuing with solving the equation, my x by y would be 3 by 8, which is my answer. I think you have understood this question. Moving on to the next question. There is nothing difficult in all the three questions, my friends. They're all solved on similar lines, so need not worry. Percentages is a very easy topic. Like, I mean, time and work, you would have felt time and work difficult before going through the video series, but after video series, I think you are fine with the time and work. And similarly, you'll sail with ease through problems with respect to percentages too. And if you're perfect with percentages, you can also sail easily through topics like simple interest on compound interest and profit and loss too. Moving on to the next question. A's salary is 25% more than B's salary. B's salary is how much less than A's salary? Friends, most of us will end up thinking like A's salary is 25% more than B's salary. Then B's salary would be 25% less than A's salary. But such an approach is definitely wrong, because A's salary is 25% more than B's salary. Here it is A's salary is calculated with respect to B, and therefore it is 25% more than B. But in the second case, he is asking us to find out B's salary is how much less than A. Here it is asked B's salary with respect to A, and therefore it would not be 25, it would be some other number. Now let us start solving the problem. Let B's salary would to be 100, and A's salary would be 100 plus 25% more, and therefore 100 plus 25, which is 125. And now B's salary with respect to A's salary, the person in percentage terms, like A salary is 125 and B salary is 100. Substituting A and B's value, B's salaries in this, I would get, because it is with respect to A, the denominator would be A, and if it is with respect to B, the denominator would be B. And therefore, if it, as it is with respect to A, I have added A, kept A in my denominator, and therefore A minus B 25, A is 125 into 100, which is 20%, and therefore B's salary is 20% less than that of A's salary. And my friends, you need not go through such huge steps. I mean, it took me around 2 to 4 steps over here. You can directly jump to the solution with this trick. This is just a trick, my friends. You can use it, and this is not a trick. This is just option obtained on the similar lines, but there is no such explanation needed. You can in CSAT, you just need to tick the right option. You need not go through steps and all, and therefore this method would be easy. I mean, both are solved on the similar lines, but this would eliminate steps for you. Like A is 25% more than B, and 25% from the values I have written on the first slide, 25% can be written as 1 by 4, and therefore I have written 25% as 1 by 4. And because it is more which is, a higher value, A is more than B, I have taken plus. If it is less, I would have taken minus. Because it is more, I have taken plus. And now he is asking us to find by how B's salary is how much less than A's salary. Now consider B and then keep this 1 as it is, the numerator 1 as it is, and then in the denominator, as it is plus sign over here, just add these 2, which is 1 plus 4, or 4 plus 1, which is 5, place it in the denominator, and this would be our answer. And 1 by 5 from the slide 1 is 20%, and therefore B's salary is 20% less than A. This trick would work with all the problems of such sort and even applications of such problems. Make sure you just practice, start solving problems with this trick, and you'll end up into solution in no time. And the next question is also on similar lines. Here, A's income is 40% less than B. By how much is B's income more than A? A's income is 40% less than B. 40% from my first slide is 2 by 5. Make sure you by heart these values, or get to these values in the examination hall using that by 100, which would be 2 by 5. 22 is 25, it is 2 by 5. Now 40% is 2 by 5, and because it is less, I have taken it to be minus. I have already said in the video, because it is more, I have taken it to be plus. If it is less, I would have taken it negative. Here it is less, I have taken it to be negative. Now, place the numerator as it is. Here the numerator is 2, I have placed it to be 2. Now, in the denominator, just make a subtraction. Because it is minus sign over here, just subtract 5 minus 2, 3. I have placed 3 over here. B's salary is 2 by 3 times more than A. 2 by 3 is 66.67%. And, okay, 40% you have written it as 2 by 5 by dividing it by 100, and 2 by 5, how can you write it to be 40? 2 by 5 into 100, which is 5 ones 520, we can write it as 40%. In the similar manner, 2 by 3 can also be written in percentage terms, 2 by 3 into 100, which is 66.67%. Therefore, B's salary is 67.67% more than A's. I think the question is clear. We'll move on to next problem. This problem is also on similar lines. A number is increased by 20%. To get back the original number, the number should be reduced by. A number is increased by some x% to get back the same number. I think the question, just the terms are changed, but the method of solving the solution is same. Solving the problem is same. Now, A is increased by 20%. 20% is 1 by 5. Because it is increased, I have taken it to be positive, and my original A would be obtained by decreasing it by certain percentage. And what is that percentage is the question being asked. It would be 1. The numerator would be same, and because it is plus, 5 plus 1, 6 would be my denominator, and therefore 1 by 6, which is 16 by 7. On decreasing the new number by 16.67%, I would obtain my original number. I think you are done with you are okay with the terms used in the question. The original number is A. It is increased by 20%. Now it is new A, the number new A. And he is asking us to find out by how much percent new A should be decreased to obtain the original A, the original A. Now it should be decreased by 1 by 6 times, which is 16.67%, because it is 1 by 6 into 100. 1 by 6 into 100 is 16.67. And therefore 16.67 is, the new number should be decreased by 16.67% to obtain the original number, and this is by assuming it to be 100. I need not explain it to you. If you have any doubt, you just pause the video and look into it. Yep. Moving on to the next question. Price of sugar is increased by 16.2 by 3%, and then by how much percent should a housewife reduce her consumption of sugar to have no extra expenditure? Here this is just an application, but if you look into it carefully, this is also a similar problem. Like, I have increased the number by 16.2 by 3%, and by how much should the new number be decreased so that it would yield me the original number? It is on similar lines. 16.2 by 3% increase in the price of sugar. By how much should a housewife reduce her consumption so that her expenditure is equal? Like 16.2 by 3. 16.2 by 3 in fraction terms, it is 1/6, because 16.2 by 3 is 50/3, and by 100, which is 51, 52, which is 1/6, and therefore I have written 16.2 by 3 as 1/6, and because it is increased, it is plus, and the reduction in consumption of sugar should be 1, the numerator is same, and because it is plus 6 plus 1, 7, and therefore, see, 1/7 is 14.2/7 from our first slide, and therefore the housewife should reduce her consumption of sugar by 14.2/7% for her expenditure to be constant in both the cases. This is just an application of the problems, 3 to 4 problems solved previously. Now moving on to the next question. A reduction of 10% in the price of rice allows a person to buy 1 kg more for rupees 270. Find the reduction in the price of rice. I think the question is clear. Let me explain you the question. Price of rice reduced by 10%, and because of this reduction in price by 10%, a person is able to buy 1 kg more. Initially, he used to buy some x kgs for 270. Now, for the same 270, he is buying x plus 1 kg because of 10% reduction. Yeah. Because of 10% reduction, he is buying x plus 1 kg more for the same 270. Now, this means that 10% of this 270 gives him 1 kg rice. I think it should be clear. Just pause the video and try to understand the question. Because of 10% increase in the price, decrease in the price of rice. Decrease in the price of rice, this is the price given. He paid 270 rupees, and decrease in 10% yields him 1 kg extra. And if 10% of this is 270, and therefore this 27 would be my new price. After 10% decrease, this is the price of the rice. 27 rupees is the price of the rice after decreasing it by 10%. Now, therefore, the new price is, for 1 kg, it is 27 rupees, and this is 90%, because initially it was 100%, it was reduced by 10%, and therefore now it is 90%. This 90% is 27 rupees, and he's asking us to find the reduction in price. The reduction in price is 10%, and therefore 90% is 27, and 10% is 27 into 10 by 90, 93. Therefore, reduction in price is rupees 3, and therefore this is my answer, rupees 3. If he had asked us to find the original price of the rice, 90% is 27, and therefore my 100% would be 27 into 100 by 90. This is equals to rupees 30, and therefore my original price is 30. Even if you are not liking to calculate all this, my original price was, my new price is 27, and it is reduced by 3 rupees. My original price would be 27 plus 3, which is 30 rupees. I think you're okay with the question. Friends, this is the end of the video. Thank you.